Orwellian is an adjective describing the situation, idea, or societal condition that George Orwell identified as being destructive to the welfare of a free and open society. It denotes an attitude and a brutal policy of draconian control by propaganda, surveillance, misinformation, denial of truth, and manipulation of the past, including the unperson, a person whose past existence is expunged from the public record and memory, practised by modern repressive governments. Often, this includes the circumstances depicted in his novels, particularly 1984. 1984 uses themes from life in the Soviet Union and wartime life in Great Britain as sources for many of its motifs. Orwell's ideas about personal freedom and state authority developed when he was a British colonial administrator in Burma. He was fascinated by the effect of colonialism on the individual, requiring acceptance of the idea that the colonialist exists only for the good of the colonized. There has also been a great deal of discourse on the possibility that Orwell galvanized his ideas of oppression during his experience, and his subsequent writings in the English press, in Spain. Orwell was a member of the Catalan Workers' Party of Marxist Unification militia and suffered suppression and escaped arrest by the Comintern faction working within the Second Spanish Republic. Following his escape, he made a strong case for defending the Spanish Revolution from the communists there, and the misinformation in the press at home. During this period he formed strong ideas about the reportage of events, and their context in his own ideas of imperialism and democracy. This often brought him into conflict with literary peers such as W. H. Auden and Stephen Spender. Meanings: the adjective Orwellian refers to these behaviors of the party, especially when the party is the state, invasion of personal privacy either directly physically or indirectly by surveillance. State control of his citizens' daily life, as in a Big Brother society. Official encouragement of policies contributing to the socio-economic disintegration of the family or any other close relationships. The adoration of state leaders and their party. The encouragement of doublethink, whereby the population must learn to embrace inconsistent concepts without dissent, for example giving up liberty for freedom. Similar terms used are doublespeak, and newspeak. The revision of history in the favor of the state's interpretation of it. A dystopian future. The use of euphemism to describe an agency, program or other concept, especially when the name denotes the opposite of what is actually occurring. For example, a department that wages war is called the Ministry of Peace. Big Brother. The most common sense of Orwellian is that of the all-controlling Big Brother state, used to negatively describe a situation in which a Big Brother authority figure in concert with thought police constantly monitors the population to detect betrayal via improper thoughts. Orwellian also describes oppressive political ideas and the use of euphemistic political language in public discourse to camouflage morally outrageous ideas and actions. In this latter sense, the term is often used as a means of attacking an opponent in political debate, by branding his or her policies as Orwellian. When used like this in political rhetoric, if it is not sincere, it is interesting to note, as it can be a case of a hypocritical Orwellian strategist denouncing Orwellian's strategies. Political language. Orwell tried to promote the use of more precise language in political discourse, and he criticized political language popular at the time, such as running dog lackey, and fascist octopus, which he said prevented thought. It seems unlikely that Orwell would have approved of many of the uses to which his pseudonym is applied. The loose definition of the term and the often poor correlation between the real-life situations people describe as Orwellian and his own dystopian fiction leave the use of the adjective at best inexact and frequently politically inaccurate. In his essay Politics and the English Language, Orwell derided the use of cliché copyright and dying metaphors, which even think your thoughts for you, to a certain extent, and went on to say, but if thought corrupts language, language can also corrupt thought. In many of his essays and letters, Orwell criticized words with formally precise definitions being used badly and the vague slide in meaning for many of these words. He was a fierce critic of fascism, but he would freely mock the promiscuous use of the word. See also, Bibliography of George Orwell, Mass Surveillance, National Security, Doublespeak Award. References. External links: Finding Orwell in Burma.